I hope Elon Musk knows now that he can't just come to Wisconsin and throw money at us like we're some cheap hoe.
Thank you to Wisconsin. Thank you to Cory Booker.
Elon, what happened? I thought you were Mr. Efficiency, yet yesterday you officially threw away $20 million.
Susan Crawford came riding in on her white horse and snatched that victory right out of their hands.
But I've got to tell you, as a little girl growing up in Chippewa Falls, I never could have imagined that I'd be taking on the richest man in the world. For justice in Wisconsin. And we won.
People are going absolutely weird over Wisconsin Supreme Court elections that happened on April 1st. So let's watch the reaction and drop a comment. What do you think about those reactions? All right, let's jump to the reactions.
Hi, Wisconsin, to all of you. I just wanted to pop by to say thank you. You all are just extraordinary. You love our country. You care. You are making such extraordinary sacrifices on behalf of so many people, on behalf of communities, on behalf of people you may never meet. And I just say thank you. You all are working on behalf of an individual, a candidate in Judge Crawford, who will always fight to protect your freedoms and your rights, including your right to organize and advocate for fair wages and working conditions that are safe, and who will protect your right to make decisions about your own body without government interference. There is an unelected billionaire who should not and will not have a greater voice than the working people of Wisconsin.
I hope Elon Musk knows now that he can't just come to Wisconsin and throw money at us like we're some cheap hoe. You may be able to throw money at Brad Schimmel, but you can't just come here and throw money at Wisconsin. We got standards around here. We care about democracy around here. So congratulations, Susan Crawford, and congratulations, Wisconsin.
Thank you to Wisconsin. Thank you to Cory Booker. Between the two of you, you showed up, you stood on business, and you gave us hope again. You showed us that everyone is not for sale and that there are people who are still willing to fight for what is right. And because of you, I finally feel like we are heading back in the right direction. Now let's talk about some of the negative. JD Vance. This man's lack of self-awareness is mind-boggling. Because how do you show up in Denmark talking about you ain't doing this right and you ain't doing that right when your ass has not gotten one thing right since you've been in this office? JD Vance, how do you expect them to like you there when we don't even like you here? You have done shit to improve the lives of Americans, yet you telling Greenland that they need to follow your lead? You've made everything worse, yet you telling somebody else what they're doing wrong? The arrogance of this man to think he could walk into someone else's land and think they just gonna hand it over to him. Have several seats, JD Vance. We don't like you. We never liked you.
Elon, what happened? I thought you were Mr. Efficiency, yet yesterday you officially threw away $20 million since you did not win the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. If you have not seen already, there was an election in Wisconsin yesterday for their Supreme Court. The winner is officially Susan Crawford, the person that Elon Musk did not want to win. He didn't want her to win so badly that he put in $20 million into this race. He was even attempting to bribe people to vote for the Republican. You all might be asking yourself, why does Elon Musk care so much about a Supreme Court race in Wisconsin? I challenge you all to look into the lawsuit between Tesla and the state of Wisconsin. Overall, though, yesterday was a huge win for democracy, and it sends a message to Elon Musk that he cannot just buy everything he wants. The people get to decide who leads them, not the richest man in our country.
Just to be clear, this isn't just about one judge. This could impact Trump, voting laws, and even future elections.
I know you've all seen the election results for that judgeship on the Supreme Court up there in Wisconsin. Well, let's have a straight talk about that. You know, the Muskrat plowed over $20 million in that judicial election up there in Wisconsin, trying to get that Brad Schimmel elected. But guess what? Susan Crawford came riding in on her white horse and snatched that victory right out of their hands. She won it by 55% to Brad Schimmel's 45%. And that just set that muskrat down. You see, he was so sure he was going to get it, because he had the muskrat backing him. So they are saying now that the muskrat is more of a motivator for the left than a help for the right. Because, see, people don't like him anymore. His cars are getting attacked, his dealerships, he's getting boycotted all over the world. He does the Nazi salute, so everybody thinks he's a Nazi. So nobody's going for his stuff. They want him gone. And he's found out that it's a lot harder to buy a state judicial judge than it was to buy a president and a whole political party. Well, we've seen what can be done. Now, Florida is a lost cause. We know that. But this is an opportunity. Let him keep doing what he's doing so we can take back the House of Representatives and the Senate while he keeps pissing people off. What do y'all think? Have a good day.
Okay, America, I see you. I see you. Y'all didn't let that Elon money do nothing. Y'all didn't care about that Elon money, did y'all? Y'all knew how important it was. Y'all knew how important it was, huh? If any example was ever needed to show how a local election, right, a local and state election can affect the national landscape, this is the one. Keep in mind, historically speaking, this is one for the record books, this particular race, the most money ever spent for a judge. The most money. I mean, they threw all kind of money at it, right? Them local folks said no. They understood. This is a break on the federal landscape. Wisconsin's really important to conservatives, right? They needed this Supreme Court pick, right? This Wisconsin Supreme Court pick, to be specific. So that way, that's one less break for them to worry about. Especially when it's almost a swing state, almost, right? They understood how important it was. There was other elections going on, but I think this one was the best example to show how a state and local election can affect the national landscape. I don't know what else to tell you, right? This loss for the conservatives was so significant that there's already buzz about Elon, quote unquote, stepping back. Like, clearly throwing money at a problem won't fix everything, right? The question is when the conservatives are going to get off this ride at this point, because this is a clear indication of what midterm elections could look like. But the point I want to make here is very clear. State and local elections matter more than the federal elections. Again, start looking around. Get on your state website, find who's running for what, find out who they are, what they stand for, right? And to be fair, if you don't like what you see and you think you can do it better, just put your name on the ballot. You just never know. Local elections matter, folks.
Major breaking news here, guys. The people of Wisconsin have given a big middle finger to Elon Musk and have elected Susan Crawford to the Supreme Court of the state and rejected Elon Musk's candidate that he spent nearly $19 million to try and elect between him and groups affiliated with him. This is wild. I'm so happy the people of Wisconsin didn't buy in to what he was saying and rejected him buying that election. This is so great, and I'm so hopeful for things going forward. Elon wanted the Republican candidate in there because he thought that he would favor him in a case that's coming up with Tesla, where he wants to have ownership of Tesla dealerships in the state, and the law prohibits that. The law there says that car manufacturers cannot own dealerships, and he doesn't like that. So he thought he could buy this election to get his way. And the people of Wisconsin said, nope, that's not happening. If you're a Democrat, this is a glimmer of hope. We can win more elections going forward and take back control of the country from Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Like, share, and spread the word.
You absolutely know that Elon and the Republicans are pissed and shaking in their boots.
NBC News, right this moment, is projecting a winner in the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. NBC News projects at this hour that Susan Crawford is the projected winner in the Wisconsin Supreme Court race. This is a remarkable outcome. We've got just 47% of the vote in, but you see that is a...
So to make a long story short, he conceded, so it's officially over. They said that Elon pumped $100 million into his campaign, and she had way less than that percentage-wise, and still wiped the floor with him. You saw the percentage. We're about to see a teary-eyed, left-blaming Elon Musk coming on Fox talking about what now? Brace yourself for it. But do what I'm doing. Sit back and enjoy it as it's happening.
But I've got to tell you, as a little girl growing up in Chippewa Falls, I never could have imagined that I'd be taking on the richest man in the world. For justice in Wisconsin. And we won.
The Wisconsin Supreme Court results make me somewhat hopeful. As you can see, every county in Wisconsin shifted more Democrat since the 2024 presidential election. President Musk and a bunch of other conservatives were heavily involved in this election. Musk spent over $20 million trying to influence this election, but as you can see, that didn't work. So this makes me start to believe that, yeah, people are getting tired of Donald Trump and President Musk's bullshit with Doge. And I hope that we begin to see some sort of infighting between the Republican Party, because his threats of primarying people who don't fall in line with Trump's agenda, I don't think that that has as much weight as it previously did. Wisconsin is a prime example that elections can't necessarily just be bought, especially when your policies are extremely unpopular. And honestly, I'm not even surprised with Florida. I don't see them ever turning blue. They're never going to beat those Florida man allegations.
Wisconsin just sent a clear message. Billionaires cannot buy our democracy. This was the first big referendum on Trump and Musk. Elon Musk has spent the last couple of days in Wisconsin spending $20 million trying to buy this Wisconsin Supreme Court seat. But voters saw right through that. But here's the thing, Elon wasn't just spending on ads. Elon was holding events where he was giving $1 million checks to voters, which is clearly illegal under election law. This didn't work, but it's something we need to be really concerned about, especially as we're looking towards the 2026 elections. We know these guys are just going to try this again unless we stop them.
Yes, all right. So do you think this is the sign that shows what's coming in 2026? drop a comment, let me know. All right, yeah. But you see people have excited face, they have happy face, and they're very happy as you saw the reactions. All right, so hit the like button and subscribe if you didn't subscribe. All right, and yeah, tell me about this post, if this is bad for Trump, or if it's good, or if it's yes. All right, bye bye, see you to the next one.